the knockout division in TNA has outgrown the need for Gail Kim. Now, while I respect her contributions to the knockout division in terms of starting it up, I always thought that Gail Kim was way overrated, both as a wrestler and as a character. I mean, don't you even remember her in the WWF? She was botching like crazy. She was falling on her ass more than the American gymnast. And in terms of outside the ring, I can't remember a damn promo of hers worth noting, nor can I identify exactly what her character even is beyond anything generic. All right, she was way generic, way overrated. You know who should be the face of the knockout division? Angelina Love. Look at that performance. She disappears completely into her character. All right? I can't see the actress underneath at all. At all. Can you? Remember in the women's reverse cage match when she was the first one in the ring? And she started posing and flaunting as everyone else fought on the outside? That's it right there. That's the it factor, okay? She needs to grab that Velvet Sky by the hair, Marty Jannetty her through the window, and take her place atop of the women's division. If only she had the support of the company. And if only she would stop talking about Canada so damn much, okay? Every other word she says is Canada. What's so good about Canada, you know? They make Orangina. Who cares? You know, it's not even that good anymore. You know, they took like all the Pope out, so now when you shake it, nothing even happens. What's wrong with you? You know? Anyway, yeah. Gail Kim's departure will not be a huge blow to the knockout division, much less kill the division. Not even close, okay? Maybe it's a good thing that Gail Kim is going to WWF, you know? Maybe she can add a touch of class to those stripper-looking divas. Like a kick-ass crowd, kick-ass commentary can add so much to a wrestling show, but the question is, what happened to it? What happened to the commentary in the WWE and especially in TNA? The problems with commentary in TNA have been well documented, but what I can add is an example, alright? Hall and Nash in the Impact Zone late last year talking about who Sting's mystery partner is demonstrates everything that is wrong with commentary in TNA today, alright? The commentators nearly ruined the scene, okay? Mike Tenay wouldn't shut up. Check it out for yourself. All you have to do is type in Hall, Nash, TNA, and it's the first one. Okay, here we have two of the biggest stars of the Attitude Era, the Outsiders, in the ring together at last talking to each other, and Mike Tenay won't shut the fuck up! You know? He felt the need to interrupt constantly with his talking during the segment for every little thing, you know? Like Scott Hall would start off with, "Hey, yo, well, there's the opening line we're so used to," and then Scott Hall would say, "Been a long time, big man," and the crowd cheers for him. "Well, it's pretty obvious the crowd likes to have him back," and then Scott Hall would say, "I thought we were still dyeing our hair." "Well, that brought a smile to Kevin Nash's face." Shut the fuck up. Why do you need to feel the need to constantly talk during a segment that stands on its own? You know, at WrestleMania 24, when Ric Flair was walking down for his final WrestleMania match, did you notice how relatively quiet the commentators were? When the Ultimate Warrior was running down to his triumphant return at WrestleMania 12, did you notice the long gaps in silence by the commentators? In the Olympics, when a gymnast is taking the stage for his make-or-break performance, do you notice how relatively quiet the commentators are? It's because they're allowing for the drama to unfold on the screen and for the audience to capture the emotion of the moment. Okay? The look on Ric Flair's face as he walks down for his final WrestleMania match. Alright? The way the gymnast walks on the stage. The image of his parents holding hands in the crowd and his coach shaking by the wall. These are the moments. And kayfabe or not, during these critical moments, during an athlete's life, you shut the fuck up. You allow the audience to connect with the emotion of the athletes, not to you. Okay? You don't talk constantly during the scene. You know, "Well, there's the opening line we're so used to." "Well, that brought a smile to Kevin Nash's face." "Well, it's pretty obvious the crowd likes to have him back." If it's obvious, then why do you need to say it? Shut the fuck up. So that's the first problem I have with commentary today, at least in TNA, you know, is that instead of supporting the scene, they take away from it. The second problem I have is that it's plain old boring, okay? You know, in video games, the commentating's so boring because they say the same generic things over and over again. Well, that's not too far off from reality these days, is it? Right? Like, I'm sorry, right? I've been a Joe supporter. I supported him all last year, right? But his commentary work, last Impact, was pathetic, and his title reign has been boring as hell. Okay? Like, when he was commentating, after his commentating last week on Impact, it was so devoid of personality and energy that by the end of it, alright, I seriously doubted whether he had the charisma to lead the company. You know, and when he got in the ring with Kevin Nash, I seriously wanted Kevin to just jackknife him through the ring just for bombing as head of the company so badly on the mic. Okay, remember when wrestling commentary was exciting and energetic and charismatic? Remember when Jesse Ventura was commentating? Remember Roddy Piper on the mic? You know, remember Mr. Perfect commentating? Remember how exciting and fun that was? You know, Vince McMahon would be like, "How do you beat The Undertaker?" And Perfect would be like, "That's easy! Perfect Black some!" You know, and he'd be saying stuff like, "If Barry Always wins the Royal Rumble, I'm getting back in the ring!" You know, and remember the way he'd play with his pencil? Remember when Phineas Godwin approached the commentating booth and he's like, "Hey, how you doing? Get out of here!" And he'd throw the pencil at him, you know? I'm sorry, you know, Joe is a talented guy, you know, and he makes a pretty mean, angry face. But as far as charisma goes, he is just miles away from the likes of The Rock, Austin, and Mr. Perfect. Remember when Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mr. Perfect were commentating together? Remember Austin was like, "I can kick Mark Merrill's ass! I can kick your ass, Perfect!" And Perfect was like, "You shut your mouth so you can kick my ass until you've done it!" And they were just arguing, and it was just so entertaining. At that point, there could have been two jobbers in the ring, and the show would still be kicking ass. You know, now imagine if they were commentating over, putting over a match that was good. You know, it'd blow the roof off the building, you know? Oh, when wrestling was good. Fix the commentary.